tips to use to find my day better and to be the best version of ourselves that we could possibly be. Small steps every day, right? This week, I think, is especially special because of the election tomorrow. I think it's a stressful time, and I want to talk about how you're getting through it, what you plan on doing for the next couple of days, but also some recommendations that I might have as far as how to use Define My Day. But even if you're not using Define My Day, you can use some of the habits and some of the tactics and coping mechanisms we would use to get through this time. So we're going to talk about that today. I have a really cool announcement coming up soon too. I'm going to show you real quick. We have some new covers for Define My Day that I'm very excited to get in. I believe as long as nothing goes wrong, they should be on the store this week. We'll see. We'll see. This week I think can bring some unexpected stuff. So we'll see. Make sure hopefully our deliveries are coming in on time this week. We'll see. So how are you? How are things going on your end? I see we got a couple people hopping on now. I got Anna. Good morning. How are you? Good morning, Angel. Good to see you. Brenda. Good morning. Good to see you. How you doing? Uh, so yeah. So let me turn. I think my sound is maybe a little bit high right now, so I'm going to turn this down just a bit um, and go the other way. Um, and so yeah, so Halloween happened, and that was pretty good on our end. We did a social distance table in our driveway where I threw out a big long plastic table, and we just had stuff spread out and let the kids pick for themselves. And we had hand sanitizer on hand, and I was lysoling stuff, trying to make sure, um, we're always trying to walk this line, right? Where, we're being safe, but we're not being ridiculous. But I feel like even that maybe we need to be a little bit more ridiculous right now. I don't know. It's hard to know, right? With all of the different messaging out there. So, um, trying to be safe. But I think we can also expect that things are going to get a little bit weird on the virus side of things for the next couple of months also. And like we had a small little group that got together Friday night with my brother and his in-laws, and we tried to stay as socially distant inside as possible. But we had a feeling that like maybe this could be, this might be one of the last times we are in person together for a while. And it's close, like the virus is definitely closer to us. We a friend of ours that lives on our street, like one of the sports teams his kid plays on. Everybody that's been tested has tested positive. Like they all got sick last week. So that's a big deal. It doesn't seem to be going like spreading in the schools. It seems to be spreading through extracurricular activities. And the schools are pretty strict about masks. Our kids are remote, but I think the case they're making is that the masks in school are helping. Where when they play sports, they're not wearing masks, so that it's a bigger issue. But you can tell like things are getting a little bit more significant, a little bit more serious with the whole COVID thing. I'm starting to see a lot more people close to us in our neighborhood, in our immediate neighborhood. There's people that have been coming down with it. So just trying to, I think my general sense, just observing what's going on, my general sense is, we're gonna have to back away and be a lot more cautious in the next couple of weeks and months. Good morning, Mary. Good morning. Good morning, Jan. Good morning, Anna. Anna says I'm good. Making big changes here, leaning heavy on my DMD for focus every day. And I don't think Sheila's on here right now, but Sheila, she made a comment in the user group last week. She got a grant for her school to get equipment for her students, and she was saying that like Define My Day propelled her there. That she had never received a grant before using Define My Day, but now has been working towards these grants using Define My Day, and she has received two since using Define My Day. So that's amazing. That's like a concrete evidence that when you work daily just a little bit towards your goals, you really do accomplish big things that you might not even be able to anticipate right now. Like you might not even know what you could possibly accomplish until you really start changing your focus and changing the direction of your life. And I know she's also in the past posted about how she's been exercising and how much weight she's lost, and like she's generally healthier and happier. And if you're in the user group, like she's on there every day. Like, what are your goals today? What are your priorities? What are your small steps? Like, she's always in there helping our users, and can't thank her enough. And so proud of what she's been able to do with this. And I'll tell you, like that kind of stuff, when people send me the results they're getting from Define My Day and I see what they're doing, that's what keeps me going here every day, right? Like that's when I'm overwhelmed and when I just can't put in the work, or I feel like I can't put in the work, I come back to my reason why, right? And my reason why so many times is that like there are people that are changing their lives with this process, and me helping to support that in any way I can is why like I keep trying to improve myself, and why I keep trying to improve our process, and why keep trying to do a little bit better for you guys every day. So I appreciate all of the positive comments. I appreciate the hard work that you guys are putting into it, and I love seeing the results. So very cool. Myra says, just want to say thank you so much for the Define My Day. I got it at the very beginning of the pandemic, used it for 6 months, switched it into a homeschooling planner for my son. Now I got to get more. Oh, now I got to get more. LOL. But thank you. It made my busy mom work life and homeschooling so much better, smoother. That's awesome. Thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate that. Made sure I added self care as a priority every day. Yeah, yeah, and I've had to like normally like self care is just part of the process, right? It's part of my disciplines. It's like the process itself is self care. But because of the way things have been the past 9 months, like self care has had to been pointed out on my daily page. Like, don't let this slip. Don't let this slide. So I've had to bring it forward and put it in my priority list because of everything going on. Brenda, you started a new one today. Very cool. Very cool. I'm supposed to start a new one today. Um, but I'll tell you why I might not in a minute here. Sheila does rock. Sheila does rock. Just restarted November 1st to try to get focused. Absolutely. But I would say don't say try. Do it. Make a commitment to yourself. Don't say try. I say try by accident all the time. I'm going to try. But in reality, like I even have been stopping myself. Like, no, you're not going to try. You're going to do it. Right? You got to change that little bit of wording just to make sure like you're committing. And I apologize if you hear the dogs in the background. My neighbor has these dogs that like bay when they see people. Stick with it. You will love it. Absolutely. Absolutely. Real quick, I wanted to get into the mindfulness journal. We haven't talked about this in a while. It's one of the journals we have on the website. It's the Do One Thing Every Day That Centers You mindfulness journal. And this one, I was looking for one today. Usually I open up to a random page, but today I think this is appropriate. And it says, we must be the change that we wish to see in the world. And I think that could be very important for the next couple of months, actually. The two prompts that you get are the change I wish to see in the world is, and you write down the change you want. And then the next part is that personal responsibility aspect. How I can contribute to this. What is my purpose in this? So, especially now where people are tense and reactive, it's how can I contribute positively to what I see going on around me? And right now, I see a lot of people engaging in like probably the worst parts of ourselves, and we want to try to maybe steer that in a little bit more positive light. Um, I want us to be, all of us, like as a country, to be going in the right direction, whatever it might be from a political like viewpoint perspective. Like there's opinions on that, but I think we at our core need to continue to be really good people. Jackie's starting her I'm getting tongue tied today. Jackie's starting her first book today. She's very excited for you. That's very cool. Good morning from Freeport. Awesome. Amy says, "Good morning. I'm just starting a new one today. Hope to see it through. I keep starting and stopping, not just to find my day, but exercise and healthy eating. Yeah, it happens. It happens, especially now. We are overwhelmed, and so there are certain things that happens to me. It happens to everybody, and I think there's a couple of components to that. I think we need to maybe back down just a little bit. Like we're starting too strong. Maybe we're trying to do too much at once. But then the other part is that habit of quitting, right? It's that habit of like riding the emotional wave, riding that motivational wave, and and then when we hit bottom, we just kind of like go with it, right? And so we want to develop a sense of persistence, a sense of pushing through, and that's where the real growth happens, right? So with myself, when I want to quit, I like, no, you just got to like spend 5 minutes today. Like just to, like, and so, and for me, it happens a lot of times. It happens not so much long term, but a lot of times towards the end of the week. Like Friday, I might not journal. Saturday, I might not even look at the book. And I know I have that tendency. So I need to make like redouble my efforts on a Saturday morning or a Sunday morning to look at my book, even if it's just to say, be present with family is my priority today, right? Or organize the house or rake leaves. Like it can be very simple, very quick, but it's just that moment of bringing my attention back to what's important. And we know the positive benefits, right? So we constantly need to be talking about like the results that I know I can get when I focus on what I need to do, right? So we want to try to make sure that we're understanding that we want the results and we want to try to push through and grow rather than go back to where we were in the very beginning. It happens, Amy. It happens. It happens to just about everybody. Everybody experiences it to some degree. And sometimes you can look at it as a breather, like, okay, I need to rest. It's like exercise. I worked hard, now I need to rest. We just don't want it to be so long. We don't want to take such a break that it actually reverts back to where we were previously. We want to make sure we take advantage of that growth. Where's the info on that book? How much does it cost? If you're talking about this one right here, I don't remember off the top of my head how much they cost. They're not terribly expensive, but they're on the website. So if you go to definemyday.com, click on the store link, and it'll take you right there. And it's on the under the accessories tab on the website. Myra says, honestly, it took me 2 months of failing before I finally was consistent with the books. Starting a routine that is new is really hard. Don't get discouraged. Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly it. One day at a time. Absolutely. Yes. So yeah, you're talking about that book. That's what you meant. Yeah. So that's on. It's on our website. It's under $10. I'm pretty sure. So my big announcement for Define My Day is this: we have new covers coming out, like new covers, not just like restocking the old covers. And we're testing them out. We want to see how they do. So they're in limited quantities, and this is what we got going on. So the first one, we have a pink lace. This was going to replace the pink cover, the solid pink cover, but we had too many people yelling about the pink cover not being available. So we do have the pink cover coming back in too. But this pink lace cover is going to be a limited edition that's going to come out hopefully in the next week or two. We also have the reverse of that color. So we have like more of a it's like a beige with a pink lace on there. And then we have this one because we had some requests. This is like our test. We'll see how this one goes. People wanted kind of like a more professional looking book. This is a leather, like it's a faux leather. It's a leather print. It's the same stock cover. It just looks like it's leather. Now these will all have the shiny Define My Day logo, the kind of the one that the one that like you can't really see, but it's just kind of shiny in the right light. These are all going to have that logo on there. These are just the mock-ups, so you don't see what the actual logo is on there. And then we have this one that was highly requested, is our pink camo. So this one will be coming out very soon, and I think this one's going to go pretty fast. We're pretty excited about this one. And our last one here is our American flag one. This one is going to come out for Veterans Day. In the proceeds from this one, we're going to make a donation for everyone sold to a local veterans program here in Pittsburgh. We're hoping to donate $10,000 to an organization, and we've narrowed it down to some finalists. I think I know who I like. We're trying to pick an organization that helps veterans better themselves, and one that doesn't spend a whole lot of money on overhead. We want the money to go to helping people, right? So the proceeds from this one, we're hoping to get about $10,000 that's our goal, is $10,000 to donate to this organization here. And so this one will come out for Veterans Day, and it's going to be pretty cool. Our logo is not going to be on the front, and the white stars and the white stripes are going to have that same sort of shiny sheen that our logo has. So that's going to be the stars and the stripes. It's going to be really, really cool, and I'm looking forward to this one. That's the one I'm waiting for myself. So I'm hoping we get it in ASAP so I can use it for this week. I'm going to buy one myself and make that first donation. I'm looking forward to it. I'm really excited for this cover. So keep your eye out. I will make an announcement to you guys first before we put them on a public page on the website. I want our existing customers and the people that have been following us to get access to these first. But I'm pretty excited about them, so I hope you like them too. All right. So let me hit the comments real quick, and then we'll get on topic here. You're welcome, Leslie. You're welcome. Sherry, happy November. Happy November. It's cold and windy right now. But this week looks like it's going to warm up nice. We went from a dusting of snow this morning to it's going to be 72 by the end of this week. So we'll have some opportunity to clean up all these leaves that blew around last night. Anna says she loves the flag one and love the charity aspect. Yeah, I've been mulling it over for a long time. I've always had in the back of my mind that we wanted to help out an organization, and I just couldn't decide what was most appropriate. And also sorting through the organizations is always hard for me. Just trying to figure out like what aspect we want to focus on the most. And so we finally decided on doing a veterans organization, but also trying to keep it local here because that's where our money could have the most impact. But also that we needed one that spent their money wisely. We just didn't want to give it to a place that just keeps themselves running, and that's the purpose of them getting money. Where do you find the tools to follow along? So the Define My Day journal, planner and journal, you can find on definemyday.com. And that's really it. But, for a lot of times, you don't have to have the planner to participate here. You can follow along in the discussion. You can contribute to the discussion. You don't have to have the planner. It's always better if you do, obviously. But you can certainly follow along and use the practices we have here. Now, the main thing, what I want to talk about today is what's going on this week, right? Election day is tomorrow. Millions of people have voted in the past couple of weeks. There's a lot going on with the pandemic, with civil unrest, with the election. And I want to caution, I don't want this to be a political discussion. I want this to be how do we deal with it? How do we be good people through all of this? How do we be good to ourselves through all of this? So I don't want any Biden or Trump comments, but I do want to talk about the reality of the current situation. So, I think, I'm aware of what's going on in myself, right? And I'm aware of what's going on with our customers. People are stressed out. People are overwhelmed. Financially, they have issues going on right now. Our business goes up and down with whatever's currently going on in the world. So it can be very stressful. And now we have what's going on tomorrow with the election and anything that might happen through the next couple of weeks, right or wrong, good or bad, we have to deal with it the best way we can. And even Lynn and I noticed, so Nicholas and Ryan had their last flag football games on Saturday. And we even noticed there, it seemed to be incredibly tense. Coaches yelling at each other, people on the sideline saying things to each other that I don't think you would normally see it in at one of these games. There's a guy there berating a woman on the sideline. So it just seemed to be, and I think this is, as Lynn and I talked about it, this was my explanation, is that it was kind of a playoff game, and I think tensions normally get high in a situation like that. But I think that it's worse when there's this undercurrent of stress, right? You're stressed about politics, you're stressed about the pandemic, you're stressed about finances, you're stressed about having to hang out with your kids daily as they go through school. And as I say this, mine is knocking on my door, even though he knows that when my door is closed, I'm working. Um, and so there's just things that we have to deal with, right? We have to deal with homeschooling or whatever we might be doing. So it's hard. It's definitely hard. It's distracting, right? Like I am currently distracted because my son keeps knocking on the door, even though I told him not to. And so what we need to do is try to be as mellow as we can and let stuff go. I couldn't time this any better. Um, and so at this game we noticed this undercurrent, like this stress, this palpable, like like anxiety and tension that was happening. And how do we get around it? How do we use the things that we know how to do with Define My Day and in general and being healthy? How do we manage that through our days? And so I think we need to, on one hand, understand this is what's going on. Like there's going to be a pull for you to watch the news. There's going to be pull for you to go on social media. There's going to be a pull to comment. There's going to be triggering comments being made. You're going to want to respond. You're going to want to get into a fight. You're going to want to argue. There's going to be people, socially, that are going to say things or do things, right? And we have to decide where our lines are and try to follow, try. I said try. Look, I'm doing it. We really have to follow our own guidelines, decide what we're going to allow and what we're not going to allow in ourselves. And so for me, I know I'm going to watch the news like all day tomorrow, right? It's going to happen. It's not going to be a priority for me. That's not my priority. But I know a gigantic chunk of my time is going to be up watching the news. Tomorrow night, I will not be able to sleep. It's not that like I'm saying like I can't wait to watch the election results. I know I'm not going to be able to stay away from watching the election results. So I'm going to be up like all night tomorrow night watching what's going on, right? That's just, it's what's going to happen. So similar to somebody saying, you know what, I'm going on vacation and I'm going to eat like crap. Tomorrow night, I'm going to eat like crap. Tomorrow night, I am going to watch junk food, right? It's just going to happen. So I'm going to frame my priorities. Like I'm not going to have a gigantic work project tomorrow that I'm going to work on. I'm not going to roll out a brand new ad campaign. I'm not going to work on my course. I'm not going to do anything brand new with Define My Day. I'm going to make my priorities simple things that I can get done in the morning so that I can completely check out and absorb news and probably end up like all kinds of messed up Wednesday. I know it's going to happen. So I'm just going to accept it now and realize that's what's going to happen. So what are my boundaries? What are my guardrails, right? Tomorrow, I need to eat well. Tomorrow, I need to spend a half an hour exercising. No matter what, I got to do it first thing in the morning. I'm going to exercise in some way, whether it's walking around the block or whether it's going into the garage and working out down there. I'm going to do something healthy for myself to balance out the crap that's going to happen afterward. So, as far as talking with people, like, what am I going to do? Like, what am I going to engage in, right? I'm not going to get into arguments. That's just my line, right? Like, I might observe, I might read, I might even post something. I'm not going to get into an argument, right? There's no use, right? It's not a matter of changing anybody's mind at this point. I'm going to do whatever I can for myself to be as stable as possible. Like I'm gonna keep my guardrails. So again, eating well, exercising, limiting how much negative contact I have. But I'm also gonna be good for the people around me. Like I'm not gonna get so into it that I'm cranky with family members, right? And I'm also gonna use it as a learning experience for my kids. I'm going to have them watch it. I'm going to have them watch what's going on. I'm going to try to explain to them what's going on, why things are important, all of it. So I'm going to make sure my kids, that's going to be a priority for me, that my kids understand the gravity of what's going on. What else? Oh, so in anticipation of all of this, what can I also do to minimize my stress going forward? And one thing that I didn't quite anticipate until this weekend was preparing to stay in the house for my own safety. So I actually had multiple people tell me that they were planning on riots and looting and violence. One of my friends who I highly respect has stocked up for weeks. He's normally incredibly level headed. He's stocked up for weeks and he has a gun. Like that, and I don't believe he normally has one. So he has prepared himself like for the worst. And that being, I want to say it's out of character, but it might not be out of character. He's looking at the situation, understanding that he needs to take precautions. And so I've had a couple people make similar comments to me. So, and then today I read that the unions across America have begun discussing having a general labor strike if the election results happen and the incumbent doesn't accept them. So like if and I can put it this way, this is just a scenario, but if Trump loses and then refuses to leave or refuses to accept the results and it's clearly not in his favor, there is talk of a general labor strike across the country. So that means anywhere from union labor like roads, bridges, whatever, building trades, all the way to teachers and maybe even grocery store workers. So I see that and I think to myself, well, okay, so maybe I need to have a couple more groceries in the house and anything else that I might need if I can't get out because nobody's working, right? Because they're on strike because they don't like the result that happened, right? And so, that made me think that, okay, that's one more thing that I can do to lessen my stress because I don't want to be in a situation where I feel like I didn't do everything that I could to take care of myself or my family. So, right after this session, I'm going to make a last minute trip to Costco and I'm going to pick up anything I need to keep us in the house for the next couple of weeks in case the worst thing happens. And look, that might be too much, right? It might be too much, but it'll give me a little bit of peace of mind. And if anything, I needed the stuff anyway. It's not like I'm buying 5,000 cases of toilet paper, right? So just get the stuff that we need to be okay for a while. But it just occurred to me, like that could even apply to, utilities. Like what if those people walk out? That would be crazy. So like we gotta make sure we take care of ourselves, right? And that's one way to take care of ourselves is to think of all the ways that we may be vulnerable as individuals, and try to cover that up as much as possible. You know what I'm saying? Now, as far as our boundaries and our guardrails for ourselves, what do we want to do? We want to make sure that we're keeping up with our healthy habits, right? Like, so say you back off your priorities for the next week because you're going to be overwhelmed and stressed and you're not going to be able to peel yourself away from the TV. You can say, look, I'm not going to watch TV. I'm not going to watch TV. But let's be realistic. If you are going to be watching TV, like there's no reason you can't. Just understand that maybe work is going to suffer. Maybe some of the things around the house are going to suffer. Do the basic things that are good for yourself. Keep up with your healthy habits. Brush and floss. Take a shower. Do all the things you need to do for yourself. Exercise, meditate, read. All of our basic daily disciplines. All the things you've identified that keep you on a stable foundation. Keep doing those things. Don't let the whole thing crumble. Keep doing your Define My Day every day. This is a great time to journal with Define My Day. Write down how you feel. This is a historic moment. Write down how you feel, because in a year or two, you may even want to bookmark this. In a year or two, you might want to come back to this and see how you've grown and changed and process the information in case anything else like this happens again or another difficult situation happens. See how you went through this process. And you might even help yourself by processing those emotions on paper. You may help yourself understand them better as you go through the next week or two. Keep up your routine, exercise, your care actions. I also, another way of putting these are care actions. How are you caring for yourself? How are you tending to yourself and the ones around you? If you have kids or adult, senior parents, other people that you need to care for and have their best interest in heart. Meditating. I think that's a big one. Like, we need to make sure we meditate to keep ourselves a little bit centered, especially through this time. Prayer works the same way. So if you're someone that prays, pray. Pray for whatever you want, or even to say thank you for my safety, right? And then the last part is this. I think what we really need to do is watch our reactions. I think that we are in a time when no matter what side we're on, our reactions have become explosive. And we have to continuously look to the person we want to be, the things that make us angry, question why they make us angry. Try to understand where somebody else might be coming from, even if they seem like unrealistic or unreasonable. Try to understand where they're coming from, how they got to that place. And you might not understand it, right? But even trying to understand it can seriously help you maintain a level of decorum, I guess, or yeah, empathy with people around you. So if you're someone, and I've been there, right? If you're someone that just reacts and gets mad or angry, or, you just want to yell at somebody, pause, stop, and understand that we don't have to. And that we can disagree. We can even have a heated discussion, a heated disagreement, without getting to the point where you dehumanize somebody. So watch your own reactions, watch your own actions, and try to understand that no matter what, we all have to live here, and the best for this country is for us to be one country. We have to be together. We have to find some sort of common ground, or nothing good's going to happen from it. Like, we have to be nice to each other. We have to be respectful of each other, and that's respecting our cultural diversity, religious diversity, and opinions, as hard as it may be. So try to be, as you watch all of this, try to be understanding, even though some of it might be incredibly angering. Vicky says, having a sense of humor helps, and also trying to understand why people think the way they do. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And so there's been a lot of talk about, um, how people get into certain kinds of trains of thought, right? And it started somewhere. Some of it's just things they've heard for their entire lives, and they're just sort of indoctrinated into it, and they've just never seen another way. I have to say that for me, in my own change, in my own, in the way that I've changed my mind over the years, it's come from trying to understand other people's situations. And the more you do that, I think the less sure and fanatical you are about your opinions, and that's the way I've become. I used to be hard line, like this is the way it is. But you have to understand that my reality isn't the same as everybody else's reality. I grew up differently, some really positive and some really negative. And that's framed my experiences and who I am as a person. Somebody else has completely different experiences, maybe much worse, maybe a lot better, um, and that's framed how they've grown up and the kind of person they are right now. So they see the world completely different. Where I see something that might be common sense, they see something that's completely, different, and we have to understand that that's going to happen. But I think when we try to make our actions and words come from a place of caring, um, I think that's mainly the difference for me. When I see hateful language, I know it comes from a place of pain, but I also know that they are not in a place where they can hear anyone else, right? And the only way we can be in a good place to have a conversation is to not have the source of it be hate and anger and it's got to be in a place of kindness. Amy says, "Yeah, I'm live here every 10 Eastern and always helpful. Always had previous videos on YouTube. Da, 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 da. You must be responding to somebody. I can't see that you are on my comment feed, but thank you, Amy. Appreciate the support there." Uh, Angel says, "We've also stocked up to be prepared to not go anywhere for a while just in case. There's potential for some militia activity here. Ooh. I figure that even if it does not happen, I'll still be winter in Michigan." Yeah, I agree. I think I look at it the same way. Tamara says, "Thank you for your thoughts. Good stuff. Very useful. Good. I'm glad. I'm glad. I'm glad it was helpful. I appreciate you guys. Um, I'm gonna head out, and if you guys have questions or anything that you want to discuss, leave a comment, and I can always comment back in the future. And I may, if I have the opportunity, check back in with you again this week, either in the user group or through here, and we'll try to talk again and see how you're all doing. Um, stay strong. Keep up the healthy habits. Keep up with the stuff that you need to do for yourself, and you know, let's take care. Keep moving forward, and I will see you guys all very soon.